Ladies, gentlemen, this is part three of us reading out some Mother Teresa quotes and talking about how they apply to sex, how they apply to dating, relationships, business, self improvement in general. If you haven't watched the previous two parts, go back and watch those. Let's start with this quote. Love is a fruit in season at all times and within reach of every hand. I like to look at this in two separate parts. The first one is kind of a message of like hope that you're all allowed to have love. You're all worthy of love. You are all capable and worthy of finding someone or multiple people that will care about you, that will love you, whether that's friends, whether that's relationships, sex, dating, whatever. You're all capable of finding love, even if you don't think you're worthy, even if you think you're bald, I'm bald too, even if you think you're too short, you're too ugly, you're some race or something that you think no one will like, you are capable of finding people that like you. And the second thing I take from this is that love is something that you can give, and you always have that option to give. You can be loving to yourself, even if nobody else loves you right now, or you feel like nobody loves you. Be loving to yourself. You can be generous and give to other people. You can be kind, and that comes back to you. If you walk around life being a really fucking nice person, and you're really honest when you're, dating people or having casual sex or whatever, that comes straight back to you. So love is right there at all times and within reach. It's just that sometimes we might have to go first and be that change that we want to see in the world. We might have to be loving first, and then people give that back.
Yeah, I think ultimately you summed it up really well is that love is within reach
Yeah.
of all of us. Love is all around us. And that might be a cheesy way to put it, but I think this is a very lovely, poetic way to express that concept. Because I think sometimes there's like these phrases that get tossed around a lot so much so that they don't mean anything. Like love is all around us, love is everywhere. Like, and they can maybe lose its meaning, but maybe when you just phrase it a little bit differently or I think the amazing thing is when like a quote like this comes from someone as prolific as somebody like Mother Teresa, people are a lot more willing to like shut up and listen.
Hmm.
But when it's a cheesy kind of printout sign in mum's kitchen, everyone's just like, that's stupid. But it's I think there's a reason that a lot of these quotes get I get I guess rehashed and
Hmm.
put around a lot of the place because there is a lot of truth to it and it is very uplifting and positive.
Yeah, and a lot of the time you just need the quote explained to you. Like a lot, this is why anytime I respond to quotes, like on my channel, or when I post them on Twitter or Instagram, we post a lot of quotes on Instagram. I will explain what the quote means, or I will explain how you can apply it to your own self improvement. You can kind of think of quotes as like a tool or a philosophy that you can then apply to your current goals.
Mm.
So don't just read quotes and you feel good for half a second, but you don't know how it's actually applicable.
Mm.
Read the quote and then try and see how you can apply that to your own life. And so in this case, use this as motivation. Okay, everyone is capable of love, everyone can feel some love. And if I don't have any love in my life right now, let me fucking start with myself. Let me love myself. Let me write a list of 50 things about myself that are lovable. That's a really good way to start loving yourself, build that self
Mm.
esteem. Let me go out into the world and smile at people and just express love. Maybe let me get a fucking dog or let me get a
Mm.
cat. And then I can unconditionally love that dog. We've seen
And it
quite a
will love
few,
you back.
it will love you back unconditionally for sure.
Mm.
We've seen quite a few homeless people that have dogs, and oh my God, those dogs might be the most loved dogs on the entire planet. Because when you're homeless, you're spending 24 hours a
Mm.
day, 7 days a week with that dog. And that dog might be, in your eyes, maybe the only thing that loves you unconditionally. Lots of other people love you, but
Mm.
when you're homeless, a lot of homeless people maybe don't recognize that, you know? And so there's a couple of guys around here that just have dogs that just look like the most loved dogs of all time. And those dogs love their owners as well. So there you go. Like get a dog and now you have unconditional love in your life 24/7. Or live somewhere where there are lots of dogs. There's
Mm.
lots of dogs where we live.
Yeah, we have a dog park down the road, like an
Yeah.
off-leash dog park. And fun little anecdote, there is a particular guy who lives or is homeless, but is around our area.
You're talking
And
about the guy with the like black grey dog.
Yeah,
Like,
and
yeah.
she's like the sweetest, most
She's so
placid.
docile and loving because he loves the fuck out of her.
Yeah, and he'll. It's quite a big dog. It's definitely like a medium to large sized dog,
Hmm.
but he'll walk around with her on his shoulders, like just like literally
Yeah, he
standing on his
carries the
shoulder,
fucking dog on his shoulder, and it's a
and
big dog
we'll
too.
just walk
Yeah,
around. Yeah,
it's really cute.
it is very cute.
Hmm.
But the point being that, sometimes we might have judgments about, for example, somebody that's homeless.
Hmm.
But if that person can receive and give love to
Hmm.
something else, you sure as hell can as well.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And our next quote is, be happy in the moment. That's enough. Each moment is all we need and not more.
Hmm.
And this is actually something that Andy and I were talking about a little bit yesterday, is because we are definitely, or I'm definitely still somebody that gets caught up in some stories or beliefs and can feel negatively towards certain situations. And one that comes up a lot for me is feelings around money and stress and anxiousness there. But something that always helps me is asking the question when I am stressed about money is, am I okay in this moment? And when you take a step back and you remove the past and you remove the future and you're just in the present, you're like, no, I can feed myself, I can pay the bills, like everything is okay, because it is that stressing about the future that can then make everything worse or cause that worry. And what I like about this quote is it seems to, or at least for me, my takeaway is that it seems to be emphasizing like in every moment there is one something to be happy about.
Something to be grateful for, yeah.
Yeah, and when you're in the moment and not looking behind or in front of you, a lot of, or basically all of the worries go away.
Hmm.
Like you can stand there and say like, I'm alive, I'm breathing, the sun is shining in my face, and like that's okay. There's a lot to find joy in the present moment.
Yeah, a really good book on this is Viktor Frankl wrote a book called Man's Search for Meaning. I highly recommend that book to all of you. Basically, this guy was in a concentration camp in Nazi Germany. He was in Auschwitz, so probably the worst concentration camp to be in. And he talks about his journey there and everything that he went through and all of his friends that were just murdered and like all of the stuff that happened. And the entire point of this book was he was like while he was in the camp, he was like, I have to find some way to be happy while I'm here. They've taken everything from us. They've stripped us naked. They shaved our bodies completely naked. They tattoo us with a number. We don't even have a name anymore. We're just a fucking number. They've killed all of our friends, killed all of our family. We're probably going to die in here. We're worked literally to death until we literally can't work anymore. And then we're just killed like an animal. We're treated like animals. But there has to be some meaning in this. I have to be able to be happy while I'm here. And he was in there for like 3 years or something. And he figured out how to be happy in fucking Auschwitz. And so if that guy can be happy in fucking Auschwitz, then I think we can be happy living in a Western world with all of the beautiful comforts that we have. Another really good person that I recommend you learn from is Nick Vujicic. And Nick Vujicic, this is him here on the screen. He is an Australian guy who was born with no arms and no legs. Look at that, no arms, no legs. And Nick has a beautiful family. Look at this beautiful wife. His wife's name is like Kanye. I can never pronounce it right, but Kanye. He's got 4 kids with her, no arms, no legs. And this guy tried to kill himself when he was 6 years old. He tried to drown himself in the bathtub because he thought, my life has no meaning. God hates me. The universe must hate me. I'm a fucking mistake and I'm going to be a burden on my parents and everyone else. And so he tried to kill himself. Ultimately, in that moment, he was like, I don't think I want to hurt my parents. And he stopped himself halfway through trying to drown himself. And he went on to become a motivational speaker. He's written so many books. He's gone on YouTube. He's done TED Talks. He walks around, or he goes, walks around. I guess he doesn't walk around, does he? He goes around the world inspiring people and sending out this message of fucking hope. So if this guy can be one of the most optimistic, peaceful, loving people that you will ever meet when he was born without any arms and legs, if this guy can find meaning in his life, then I think the rest of us can find meaning, if we're a little bit short or if we're not super happy or if we have, things in our life that we use as excuses to not be happy. And none of that is us saying that you should feel guilty if you're not happy. That's not what we're saying. We're not trying to guilt trip you into being happy, but it's useful to sit there and say, okay, I have my arms and my legs. Nick Vujicic doesn't. Wow, that's one thing to be grateful for. I'm not in a fucking concentration camp in Auschwitz. I have freedom. That's something to be really grateful for. And you just look in your life for all the little things that you can be grateful for in this moment right now, and try your best to not think so far ahead that you're stressing about the future, or look so far back that you're regretting the past. Focus on now. And a really good quote that helps with this, or a question, is you say, other than what I'm thinking and believing right now, is everything okay? So other than me thinking like I need more money, or I need more sex, or, I'm a loser, other than all of those thoughts in my head, right now in this moment, am I okay? And the answer to that question is always yes. It's just that we get caught up in like fears and anxieties and worries and regrets and pain and anger and frustration and all the stories and the thoughts.
And I think the other thing that I do like about this quote is the second part, which is it's all we need.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes it's very easy to get caught in the what seems like a logical trap of like, well, if I don't have the past and I don't reflect on the past and think about the past, I'll never learn anything. I won't learn from my mistakes. And if I don't look towards the future, I'll have no planning and I'll never go anywhere. And obviously, there is a lot of like validity and there's a lot of helpfulness in using the past and the future to dictate your actions in the present. But I think it's not hard to do that to a fault sometimes. So much so that you're not in the moment, you're not enjoying life because you are obsessing either about the past or the
Yeah.
future. And so I think the more that I have focused on the moment and what I'm currently experiencing, even the very simple things like how clothes feel on my skin or how it feels to have a shower or the sunshine on my face, whatever it might be, the more that I focus on the very simple, obvious present moment in front of me, the happier I seem to be. Because I am someone who can or has a tendency to ruminate quite a bit and overthink and can get quite stressed about things. But the more I pull myself back to whatever is happening in the now, the better I feel.
Yeah, and it's very easy to live in the past and regret the past. A lot of you do. I have a lot of coaching clients that will come to me and say, man, I missed out on high school and dating and getting laid. And when I went to college, I didn't meet any women. And man, like, I just feel like I wasted my 20s. Like, how many of you say, I feel like I wasted my 20s?
Mm.
And you spend all this time in regret instead of focusing on right now and saying, okay, fine. I missed out on my 20s. Fine. Good. Great. It is what it is. What can I do right now to change it? So many of you live in the past and you live in regret and guilt and shame and fear and anger and all of that. A really nice quote that sums all of this up is, the past is a nice place to visit, but you wouldn't want to live there. And a lot of people live their entire fucking life in the past. The same thing applies to the future. The future is a great place to visit, like sit there and fantasize about the future and what goals am I going to do. But you probably don't want to live there. You don't want to be a perpetual dreamer who's like missing the present moment because you're just obsessing about the future, saying, I'll be happier when. I'll be happier when I've achieved my goals. I'll be happier when I've gotten laid, or when I make money, or when I lose weight. No, be happy right now in this moment. That's the beautiful challenge of life. Can you be happy while you work on those goals? Can you be happy as you move towards the future? Because the future doesn't even exist. It's a fucking hypothetical that we just fantasize about. This moment right now actually fucking exists. So let's live in this moment and appreciate this moment. Otherwise, you fucking miss it. You spend your whole life dreaming of the future. You miss the entire life that you've just lived.
And I think as well, it's very easy to defend the past or say like I'm using it as motivation or like
So many
it's
people
going to
will
help
whip
me.
themselves with regret and pain and suffering from the past. They'll beat themselves up because they're like, I didn't have the best past ever. And then, yeah, you're like, I'm doing this for motivation. No, you're doing this to fucking stroke your own ego about how bad you are. Like,
Yeah.
it's narcissistic, self indulgent to obsess about the past.
And I think what you and I have found is that we actually get a hell of a lot more clarity if you just ask yourself without kind of the overthinking about the past and trying to weigh up all of these different things. It's just, what do I feel like right now? What do I
Mm.
want right now? What would feel good right now? I think there's a lot of simplicity when it comes to deciding the best
Mm.
action to next take.
Yeah, what action can I take right now? That's the only question that really matters. The past is gone. It is what it is. Visit it a little bit to learn from it, great. But don't spend the next, 5, 10, 15 years obsessing about the past and all the things that you regret because you waste the present. And the next one is, if you are humble, nothing will touch you, neither praise nor disgrace, because you know what you are. Yeah. So I like to look at this from two different angles. One is self-esteem. The higher your own self-love and self-esteem, the less you care about external validation and the opinion of other people, because you know who you are. You're like, I like myself. And so something that really happen or helps with that is to write a list of 50 things about yourself that are likable. Like literally define who you are and the positive qualities that you have that you believe in. And then it doesn't matter if somebody else disagrees with that, because you're like, I don't mind. Like, I like who I am.
Mm.
Surrounding yourself by positive people also helps, like having a whole bunch of friends who'll have your back. So in those moments when you do doubt yourself and you are afraid of other people rejecting you or criticizing you, you can go to your friends and honestly and openly and vulnerably say, guys, I'm feeling a little bit of self-doubt. Like, would you mind giving me a bit of reassurance that like I'm on the right path, or that I'm doing a decent job, or that like I'm a decent person? Like, you even asked me for that yesterday when you were talking about some of the stuff in the
Mm.
past. And so you can just very honestly ask people, can I have that from you, from friends? But the other side that you can look at this from is letting go of validation seeking in general,
Mm.
and not needing other people to approve of you or disapprove of you, not caring if they like you, not caring if they don't. A really good book that helps with this is I Need Your Love, Is That True? By Byron Katie. It's literally a book on not needing other people to love you or approve of you or give you validation or attention, because you're fine either way. So this is something that you can work on, letting go of that attachment to validation. It's not
Mm.
something you have to be perfect with. And if you have lots of attachment to validation, that's okay. Welcome to being a human. You can slowly work on letting that go and being a little bit more free each week, each month, each year, each decade.
Yeah, I think maybe an example in my personal life or something that's been, I guess I've been working on and learning over the years, because I was definitely somebody that started out, especially when I first met you, Andy, as somebody that didn't think especially highly of myself, was
Mm.
incredibly self critical. And that's still a trap that I fall into sometimes now. But initially, just to get myself out of the stage of like, I'm not good enough and having low self esteem, I channeled a lot of energy into trying to be more loving,
Mm.
more kind to myself, trying to be complimentary towards myself. And that's been a really, really positive thing for me. Don't get me wrong. But I think over time, I've also noticed that that in itself can be a trap,
Mm.
because the more that I get praise and encouragement from other people, there is still an attachment to
A
that.
neediness for it, yeah.
Yeah, there's a sense that like there's now something to lose, or
Mm.
I think my appearance and the way I look is definitely something that I've at times been and sometimes still can be a little bit obsessive
Mm.
about. And initially, like it can be really nice if you're not feeling particularly attractive to be like you're beautiful, you're lovable, like telling yourself that you're pretty or that you look good. That can be a really positive thing. But then sometimes it can stray into the territory of then I become too attached to that and I
Mm.
need the approval of others and I need other people to tell me that I look attractive or I'm pretty or whatever it might be. And then when I get a compliment, I can feel the little ego kick from that, and it
Mm.
feels really great and it feels really nice. But then it can become a bit of a cycle in which I'm constantly seeking that and feeling like I need that.
100%, yeah,
Or if
yeah.
I go too long without somebody like being complimentary towards me, there's
It's like, is something wrong? Am I suddenly ugly? Yeah.
and so what I really, really love about this quote is it mentions neither praise nor disgrace,
Yeah.
and that both of those things can sometimes at times be equally as like harmful as one another. And it's worth being conscious of the fact that lots of compliments and praise may not always be a positive thing.
Yeah, Mother Teresa spent her entire life doing everything she could be to intentionally be humble. It was one of the things she worked hardest at. It didn't just come naturally to her, especially when she did things like when things were given to her, like winning the Nobel Peace Prize. Don't you think that might be a fucking ego stroke? Right? And so she specifically talked about this in her letters. In some of her books, they have a whole list of like letters that she wrote to her superiors and to other people in the church and all of that kind of stuff and people she worked with. And she talked about her struggles with humility, that it was a daily fucking practice for her. And she didn't want to win the Nobel Peace Prize. In fact, she rejected it at first. And she's like, I don't fucking want this. I don't think this will be good for my ego. And I haven't done anything. It's not me that did this. It's like, Jesus working through me. It's all the teachings that Jesus wrote in the Bible. I'm just carrying out what he suggested. I don't get credit for this. Jesus fucking taught me. You'll hear me say similar stuff in content sometimes, where I'll say, I'm grateful to Good Looking Loser for all of that he taught me. I'm grateful to Dan Henry. I'm grateful to Mark Manson, Caleb Jones. Like, I quote all the David Hawkins, Byron Katie. We quote all the people that have helped us because it's like, these aren't my ideas. I just got them from other people. And so I'm grateful to those people. And so staying humble and recognizing that other people helped you and not just taking all the credit and not just taking all the praise, like acknowledging, I guess you would say, sharing the credit and acknowledging that other people helped you get to where you are helps protect you against that ego and that narcissism that can develop when you start to get a lot of praise. So I've done the same thing in my own content. I'm not always perfect at being humble, but I've worked really fucking hard. That sounds like a humble statement, doesn't it? But it's true. I've worked really fucking hard and been really intentional to stay humble. Because like we get a lot of compliments. We get a lot of people saying, like, Andy, you changed my life. And every single time someone says, you changed my life, what I will do in my brain is I'll go, first of all, that's beautiful that they put in all that work themselves. You did all of that. Second of all I did was just do some content sharing ideas that other people have given to me. They're not even my ideas. And third of all, thank you for sharing this. You know, I will turn it back on them and say, that's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing this. That's awesome, man. You're going to inspire other people. Keep doing your thing. Nowhere in there do I say, yeah, I'm such a fucking great coach. Like, yeah, man, I'm such a great person. Fuck yeah, man. I'm top G. I'm like the best person in the world. Look how fucking great I am at helping people. No, because that's how you quickly develop an ego. So you turn it around, you hold up the mirror and you say, you're the one that did the work. Other people gave me the ideas and I just shared them with you. And you acknowledge, like, we did this together rather than I did. You know, you give credit to the people that helped you. You, Cam, the other coaches in my program, all the people that have helped me get to this point. You acknowledge all of those things. You'll see athletes doing this a lot, the humble ones, who will, you know, on game day when they win, they're standing in front of the camera and the cameraman will, you know, put the microphone in their face and say, like, what do you have to say? And then they'll say, like, I just want to give thanks to the team. I want to give thanks to, some people say, like, God. I want to give thanks to this country. I want to give thanks to my coach. I want to give thanks to my friends and family. You know, this wasn't me. This was a team effort. Someone that's really good at this is Nikola Jokic. I can never fucking pronounce his name. He's like the MVP basketballer right now in America in the NBA. And every single time he gets on camera, or every single time, like when he wins the MVP, he's like, this isn't my award, this is the team's award. And he's just like a team player through and through. And he will give thanks to his coach. He will give thanks to America for letting him be in this country. I think he's like Serbian. And he just shares that credit like crazy because he doesn't want to get a big fucking ego. And he goes, basketball is a team game. You know, it's weird to me that some people get so obsessed with MVPs and like, who's the best person? I'm not the best person. I'm just on a great fucking team. And so sharing that credit helps keep you humble. And the benefit of being humble is then you're not vulnerable to criticism. You're not vulnerable to praise and an ego. You don't need to defend your fucking ego and become insecure. And when you're when you're humble and you share the credit and you say to other people, hey, everyone helped me, I appreciate that. What do you think that makes other people want to do? They want to fucking help you more. And other new people come in and want to help you because they're like, well, he gave credit to all those other people. It would be in my self-interest to help him because he'll probably give me credit too. And then you do give that person credit and they go, wow, holy fuck, I get to share in this. We're part of a team now. He's not just stealing all of the credit and taking all the credit. I'm going to talk about something like slightly tangentially related to this. It is so unbelievable to me that the music industry operates the way that it does, where the artist, the singer, like let's talk about pop songs, the pop singer gets 100% of the credit and nobody talks about the producer.
And a lot of the time they don't write their own music.
Yeah, so they don't write their own lyrics.
They don't like write anything.
They don't write their own lyrics. They don't produce the music. And when we say produce, we mean like put all the instruments together, make the actual fucking music. They don't do any of the editing or the mixing or the final mix down or any of that shit. Literally all the singer does is sing into a microphone, which they've done a great job. They don't do the marketing. They don't do anything except for sing the lyrics that were handed to them. And they do a fabulous job of that. They do a fucking amazing job of that. But almost no pop singers ever give credit to the person that actually helped them make the music, that did the mixing down, that did the music, that did the instruments, that literally composed the music as well, put all the instruments together, came up with, like, it's a big job, by the way. I follow a few producers on YouTube, like Deadmau5, Bishu, Eliminate, uh, a bunch of other people. There's all these producers that I watch on YouTube, and like watching them make music is such a fucking intensive, long process. And then the singer comes in and goes like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And they sing the song. And again, they do a really good job of that. And the singer doesn't share any credit. They don't get in front of an interview and be like, yeah, I just want to thank my producer. Like some of them do, a couple of them do, but most of them don't. They don't thank the producer. They don't thank the people that wrote the lyrics. The people that write the lyrics are just a little footnote down the bottom if you open up or if you go digging for it. It's often not even on the fucking CD cover or the album art cover or anything. Yeah, we don't really have CDs anymore. But yeah, so that to me, that's wild to me. But that's the way the music industry works. Fine, it is what it is. But yeah, if you are humble and you share credit, then other people want to help you and you get more of what you want because people help you. I love this next one. Be kind and merciful. Let no one ever come to you without coming away better and happier. Mother Teresa has been watching our content because I say all the time, leave women better than you found them.
Yeah.
Such a great fucking quote.
You're funny. You'll like read stuff from like people that wrote books like 50 years ago and be like, they say what I say.
Yeah,
like,
I'll
they
be
got
like,
it from me.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Obviously, I'm joking when I say
know,
that. Yeah, Mother Teresa died like a whole bunch of years, like a decade or two ago. But yeah, it is funny when someone. I love that multiple people are able to stumble upon accidentally, or by given it, given these ideas by someone else. We can stumble upon the same ideas as people in different cultures, in different centuries, in the past. All of that. It's cool to me that there's like universal truths out there that apply in every culture, every situation, no matter what. And a bunch of us are just accidentally finding these truths. So
yeah, but like
yeah,
you said, leave women better than you found them has definitely been a philosophy when it comes to dating. And we've spoken about it a hell of a lot in content, and that can mean so many things, whether that's like, obviously you prefer a more mentoring role,
I like to
but that
mentor people that we date. Yeah,
can just be sharing really great experiences together, listening to someone, showing them a lot of kindness. And obviously this can apply to every single relationship or interaction that you have with somebody, whether it's a stranger, whether it's an employee, friends, family. A lot of the time it just comes down to trying to give to other people and share with them. And similar to what we said in relation to the last quote, the more that you give back to other people or like sharing that love with others, the more they want to uplift you. Like from a very selfish standpoint, it benefits you
yeah.
to.
Do it for no reason other than to be selfish as fuck. The more you give, the more you get back. There you go. Do it for a selfish reason. Great.
But yeah, no, we very much try and live by this. And obviously it's sometimes there is the temptation to be selfish or want to get from other people. But we've found that the more you practice giving and trying to add to the lives of others and make sure that they have nice experiences, the more it adds to our lives.
Yeah, a good way of saying it is like, if you want to get something, like lots of people want to get something. Most of you listening want to get something. You want to get laid. You want to get money. You want to get things from other people. Rather than just focusing on like, I want to get the thing, like a lot of guys will just focus on like, I want to get laid. And it's like, but what's in it for the woman? I don't care. I just want to get laid. Rather than going down that avenue, keep the first part of like, I want to get laid. Great, beautiful, amazing. But make it in the other person's best self-interest to help you with that goal. Make them a teammate. In other words, what that could be is like, all right, I want to get laid. I just want to get sex. But how can I help her want that? And not through manipulation, not through making her, but like, how could I present her with something that would be very appealing that should go, wow, I want that. That's cool. Maybe it could be amazing sex. Okay, how would I do that? I guess I just practice my sexual skills. Maybe I can buy some like kinky toys, some handcuffs, some ropes, some blindfolds. Maybe I could buy a vibrator so that when any women come over, I can give them an orgasm and they'd have a great time. Maybe I will put nice sheets on my bed. Maybe I will just cuddle with them afterwards and we can hang out for half an hour and just cuddle and talk because everybody likes cuddles. Maybe I will just be polite and honest. Maybe I'll be very clear about what I want. Hey, I'm looking for something casual or I'm looking for something sexual. Would you like that? Like being upfront is something amazing that you're offering. You're basically presenting this really good package, this great package deal to someone and saying, hey, here's everything that I have to offer here. Would you like this? And in return, what I would like is sex. I'd like to see what you want to offer me. And you come together and you basically say, here's what I'm offering. What are you offering? You show each other your offers and then you go, Yeah, that sounds really good. I think that we both want that. Cool. Let's do something beautiful together. Let's make something awesome together. Let's make some amazing memories together. You can do the same in business, present your package so that it's appealing to other people so that they want it, rather than saying, let me try and squeeze them for all the money that I can get. Let me try and just take money or take sex or get laid. It's like, no, present a very appealing package to the other person. That's why we talk about self-improvement. Like, make yourself the most attractive package that you can be, rather than just saying, I need to get laid. It's like, what the fuck is in it for the other person?
Can read it.
And we'll do one more in this video. We cannot give what we have not got.
It's very similar to the saying or the phrase that you hear on airline safety videos where it says, put on your own oxygen mask before helping others. And we really like this. And I think this one ties in very well to what we were saying previously. We talk a lot about giving to others and making sure that they have a nice experience, but only give what you have to give. If you don't have something to give, do not feel the pressure to give beyond your means or give to the point of resentment or frustration or to the point in which you're unhappy. Only ever give what you're willing to give. And as soon as you are not wanting to give, do not give, because when you start giving beyond your means, it will lead to negative feelings of frustration and resentment. And we very much advocate for giving because it feels good to give, for the act of giving, and not so much to receive. Because especially if you are giving to the point where you're not happy, there's often then the expectation that something's going to come back to you, you're going to get something in return, people are going to reciprocate. And then when some people sometimes don't, because it's not one-to-one, it's not 100% of the time that you give to other people that they will 100% of the time give back to you. It can then lead to just unhappiness all around. And then if you then go on to express like, well, I gave this thing to you, you're meant to give back to me, people will be like, I didn't ask for that.
Yeah,
And I think then
that's called a covert contract, where you have a secret contract in your brain of like, I've done something for you, you need to do something back to me, but it's covert, as in hidden, because you didn't say it to the person, you just held it in your mind.
yeah, because nobody likes that feeling of like somebody does something for you and then now there's like an expectation or obligation
Yeah,
or a
you owe
favor
me.
owed in the
That's
future.
like prison shit. That's like what they do in prison. I do a favor, or like gangs or the mafia. It's like, I'll do something for you. You're gonna owe me a little favor in future. And you're like, you didn't fucking tell me that up front. I just thought you were giving me something to be nice to me, you fucking liar. Like, yeah, it doesn't feel good.
So basically only give what you have to give. It's going to mean everyone's a lot happier.
Yeah, and to be very clear with everything that we talk about on this channel, where we talk about like giving and being vulnerable and being honest and being upfront about what you want, whether that's in sex, dating, relationships, business, whatever it might be, friends. When we say all that stuff, some of you might, in the position that you're in right now, not be capable of being completely fucking honest and vulnerable. You might be like, bro, I don't even know how I would begin to tell a woman that I want casual sex. I don't even know how I would begin to just be honest with my friends about my struggles and the things that I'm going through. A lot of the people that I coach, they're not at that point yet where they can be completely honest and vulnerable. And so what I say to them is just take a baby step. Practice a tiny bit of honesty. In other words, be 1% more honest than you have been in the past. Practice being 1% more open. You can add little buffers to the start of your sentence. Like, if you're walking up to a woman and you're wanting to be completely honest and just say like, you're really cute. I saw you. I wanted to come say, hey, and see if you're single. If you're terrified to do that, then you can add a little buffer at the start and walk up and say, I'm really nervous to do this, but I wanted to come and say, hey, and tell you that you're cute. Or you can say, hey, I know this is kind of random and out of the blue, but I thought you were really cute and I wanted to say, hey. So you can add a little sentence at the start that makes you feel a little bit more like you're kind of like greasing the wheels or like softening the blow. Not that it's a blow, but like you're making it easier for yourself and for the other person to receive that honesty. I'm really scared to say this. I'm really nervous to say this. I know this is random. I know guys probably don't do this very often. Like, whatever you want to say, or I've never done this before, please be nice to me. Whatever you want to fucking say. Or something that I still say quite a lot now, and I have for the last few years, is when I'm trying to be honest, but I can't think of like the right way to say it, I will literally say, I'm trying to think of a good way to say this, but I can't think of anything. So this is probably going to be really clumsy and awkward, but and then I will just say it. And I'll go, yeah, I know that I probably didn't phrase that the best way, but I'm giving myself permission to suck when I do that. So that's something that you can do that really helps. But yeah, you don't have to be completely open and honest and everything all at once. I wasn't. It took me several years to practice being as vulnerable and honest as I am right now. I built up to it over several years. So you don't have to give something that you're not currently capable of giving. Just give a tiny bit more than you have in the past and see it as a self-improvement project. Honesty is just a self-improvement project. You can level up your honesty over time and get better at it.
100%.
Speaking of honesty, I'll be honest with you. If you would like to join the coaching program, I would love to have you. How's that for deep honesty and vulnerability? I would love to have you as a coaching client. I poured my heart out right there. You know, it took a lot for me to say that. But yeah, I will leave a link to the coaching program in the description below. Ladies and gentlemen, we have payment plans. We have all that good, beautiful stuff that will help you be there. We can share Mother Teresa quotes together and share in, you know, getting laid stories and making money stories and all that beautiful stuff, all the goals that you guys and girls have. Anything you'd like to add or say to these wonderful, beautiful human beings?
Go out there and have a nice time.
Go have a nice time. Go crush those goals. Join the coaching program if you want to. Keep being your awesome selves.